Hey everybody, welcome to the Former Athlete Society. As always, I'm your host, Adam Ringler, and if you're joining us for the first time, welcome to this YouTube channel. Welcome to the Former Athlete Society. And it probably should go without saying, my name is Adam Ringler. I've been a strength coach 20 some years at this point almost, and I'm trying to take all of the lessons that I've learned through my entire career and give them to you. I'm trying to give them to you because here's the truth. The hardest part about being a former athlete isn't the memories. It isn't the loss of competition. It isn't even the body aches that show up earlier than what we would like. The hardest part is rebuilding the discipline without the structure of a team, a coach, a training schedule, a program, or somebody like me maybe breathing down your neck, right? You've spent years living in a system where everything was dictated for you. Your practice time, when to leave, your travel, right? Lifts, travel schedules, nutrition guidelines. And then one day it just stops. And now it's all on you. And let me tell you, that's probably one of the toughest transitions that anyone can go through. So what I'm doing today on this accountability call is trying to give you 5 big practical areas that you can grab a hold of: advice, motivation, productivity, tactical tools, and maybe a training tip or two that you can use to keep moving forward in this new version of your life. So let's set the stage to the first topic that I want to talk about on this accountability call. And I'm going to start with a piece of advice that is deceptively simple, but it's life-changing. What if you just shifted your bedtime routine 45 minutes earlier? That doesn't sound so groundbreaking, right? But here's what happens when you do. You give yourself 45 minutes extra in the morning when the rest of the world is asleep. No kids, no spouse asking you, hey, where the car keys are at. No emails dinging or notifying you. It's just you, uninterrupted. And here's the thing, those 45 minutes in the morning, they can completely change the trajectory of your day. So think back to college, right? The best workouts that you've ever had, the hardest lifts, the film sessions, they almost always happen before the day got too cluttered. You own that time. The morning is where runners clock the longest miles. It's where writers hammer out their first drafts. It's where entrepreneurs sketch out their boldest ideas. So you might not think that you're a morning person, but I promise you this. When you're not being pulled in 100 different directions, your brain and your body has clarity. Now, I'm not saying sacrifice your sleep, right? Sleep's a non-negotiable. You know how important that is to me. What I am saying is keep the total sleep the same, but move it earlier. Right? Lights out 45 minutes sooner, but the alarm clock wakes up 45 minutes earlier. Try it for a week. And I promise you, you will feel like you stole time back from the universe. And that's how valuable it is. And if you've been telling yourself, oh, I don't have the time to train or stretch or mobilize or do this or meditate or go for a long ruck walk, I promise you this. This is how you find that time. So let's go ahead. Let's just dive straight into everything that we're going to end up talking about. And that is having a system. I've talked about this on other accountability calls. I think it's well worth sharing again. So let's shift gears a little bit and talk about something that honestly, most people get way wrong. And that's motivation. Motivation is one of those most overrated forces on this planet. Us coaches, we love to talk about athletes that are motivated. Everyone thinks that they need it to take action. But motivation, it's fleeting. It's like caffeine. It spikes and then it dips. It disappears. And if your life relies on simply using motivation, you're going to fail more often than not. I've seen it time and time again. So here's what ends up working better. Systems. Systems are what drive actual long-term change. So let me be crystal clear. It's kind of a pun. James Clear is the author of Atomic Habits. And he talks about how you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. So Charles Duhigg in The Power of Habit also shows us how our brains are wired to operate in loops. You have a cue, you have a routine, you have a reward. And if you can rebuild a system that allows for you to nudge those behaviors towards the behaviors that you want, you don't need motivation at all. So for former athletes, this should sound really familiar. Remember lifting sessions in college? Did you ever really want to do that 6 a.m. conditioning test? No, but you did so because the system was in place. You didn't have to negotiate with yourself to wake up, to eat, to do all those things. It was scheduled. It was required. It was non-negotiable. So you need that same approach in your adult life. You need to build systems that remove the need for negotiation with yourself or with others. Put your gym bag in the car the night before so you don't have to make that decision at 5 p.m. about whether or not you're going to train or not. Prep your meals on Sunday so you're not battling with Uber Eats at 9 p.m. that late Saturday or Sunday night or Monday. Motivation fades, but systems, yeah, they don't. The trick is setting them up once and then protecting them with discipline. When you lean on your systems, your results end up taking care of themselves. So shifting gears a little bit here real quick. I just need to throw this out here for everybody. Let's do this. Sorry, I'm struggling here. So if you haven't already, I need you to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get first access to all of the videos that we are dropping. And let me be the first one to tell you that we are dropping videos all of the time here at the Former Athlete Society. And I want you to be a part of the special thing that we're building because we are really trying to bridge that gap between real world athletics, you being an athlete, and this tough transition. So head over to the channel. If you're watching this right now, just like it, right? Subscribe to this. That helps the algorithm and our numbers and our analytics. So now here's something extremely tactical and kind of funny because it sounds so simple that it shouldn't work, but it does. You should batch your hydration. And what I mean by this is that I can't tell you how many times I've seen people fail on hydration, not because they don't know that water is important, but because of friction. Think about that. Every time that you have to walk to the sink, find a clean bottle or glass, measure out your electrolytes, pour, stir, shake it up, it just adds friction for your brain to say, I'll do it later. And later often never comes. So here is what I do. I fill 3 bottles at once. My 50-ounce Yeti, right? It's this guy. Here it is. We've talked about this on other shows. It's already filled up. And that guy typically goes into my freezer, right? I like to just get it cold. I don't put any ice in it. I throw it straight into the freezer. Then I go ahead and this 40-ounce, right? This guy right here. This guy, I like it with the straw. That goes right on my desk. I fill that up as well, right there. So now I'm already 90 ounces deep. And then I have a 25-ounce smaller yonder that goes in my fridge. And I mix everything all at once with all of my electrolytes, with all of the Himalayan pink sea salt, with all of my flavoring. I fill it with ice. And that's right there is like 115 ounces of ready to go, prepped, cold, electrolyte loaded hydration. Now, instead of having to fill it 5 to 6 times a day, I only have to think about it maybe once or twice. If I do it twice, are you kidding me? That's, 230 some ounces of water. Right? We're getting to the territory of almost drinking 250 some, don't quote me exactly on the math, of 2 gallons worth of water. Now, this is the exact same concept I take when I meal prep. You reduce the friction, you eliminate excuses, you make hydration automatic. And if you've ever wondered why you might feel sluggish, why your recovery might feel off, or why your focus dips in mid-afternoon, I bet it's maybe a part of your hydration, right? That could be a problem. So try batching it, maybe one prep, multiple bottles all at once, and chances are the problem will be solved. Now, couple things real quick that I just need to transition to if you have yet to do this. I have a website, guys. It's right there. It's down below. It's adamringler.com. And this is the best way of joining our Former Athlete Society. Head over there. You can join for free if you want to. If you're just like, Adam, I want to test out the waters. I don't know about it yet. Join for free. Get free access, jump into the discussion boards, read the articles. You'll be on the newsletter. You'll get all of our monthly musings, all of our podcasts, etc. Now, if you want to take it a level deeper, that's where the Former Athlete Society comes in. You can join, you can get one-on-one access to private accountability calls like this, just for our community alone. You can have the question and answer session. You can have the master classes. You can have the complimentary training program. And guys, it's all right here at adamringler.com. So check it out, head over there, join today. You will not regret it. Now, moving on from here, I just want something that I think that this community will really like, because I've talked about this before on so many other accountability calls and Q&A calls, and that's sleep. Sleep is one of the biggest performance enhancers that doesn't come in a pill or a powder or anything like that. And yet it's still mostly ignored. We think of sleep, yeah, sure, fine, I'll get it. I got 7 hours today. I'm good, coach. But here's the thing. Your perception of sleep is often wrong. What you think is good sleep might actually be riddled with disturbances, with light sleep, with wake-ups or poor recovery. And that's where actually tracking comes in. Now I'll be fully transparent. I use Bevel Health. It takes advantage of my Apple Watch, connects to my Apple Watch, right? But there's other great tools out there. There's the Aura Ring, there's Whoop, there's Ultra Human. The power isn't just in seeing what your sleep score is. It's actually pairing it with data with your behaviors. And so that's why I like the applications or the hardware that leverages a journaling aspect to it. So maybe you're eating late and you don't realize that it's wrecking your deep sleep because your resting heart rate's elevated. Maybe alcohol is crushing your recovery more than you thought. And guess what? Chances are it probably is. Maybe scrolling TikTok in bed is delaying your REM cycle. And yeah, guess what? It probably is. When you track and journal alongside the data, you start to actually see those patterns. You see the correlations between that. And once you see the patterns, you have all the data in the world to change them. You don't need to guess anymore. You know what's working and what's not working. And for a former athlete who used to live by scouting reports or film, think of this as your scouting report for your own recovery. The data gives you feedback, and your job is to now adjust the game plan. And that's how you move the needle for your own recovery. So let's move on. But before I do, a couple other things real quick. You're watching this on YouTube, everyone. I know you are, because this is where I post all the videos. And that means one thing: hit the notification bell, sign up, and be notified, be alerted when you slam that bell and ring the bell. You will get first access to all of our videos as soon as they drop. And what's cool about the algorithm here at YouTube is that the moment you get that notification, you jump into it, it helps other people find the Former Athlete Society, and it helps deliver some of this information to other people, other athletes, other people that could benefit from this type of information. So do me a favor, like I said before, hit the bell, and again, sign up for our notifications here at our YouTube Former Athlete Society. So let's move on. I want to kind of dive in deep. Listen, I've said this already, and you know this if you watch. I'm a strength and conditioning coach at heart. Yeah, I dabble in sports science and data analytics and all that, but listen, I love to lift. That's what I love to do. So let's get some technical training tips right in for this call today, right? So maybe a change of pace. And, you know, I hope you guys love maybe some of the different things that we are talking about here. And I use this technique all the time because it's been saving me, quite frankly, lately, as I'm in this deeper calorie cut this summer, right? And yes, okay, so I'm trying to trim up a little bit this summer. Your boy's trying to get in shape, right? He's trying to get fit. This is what he's trying to do. And so in nature of it, right, my calories are pretty low right now. I'm in a pretty steep deficit. And because of that, my energy levels can sometimes be tough. So I've talked earlier in these other accountability calls about chasing the pump. And I do that later in my workouts when my glycogen is super low, my energy is drained, and I know I probably shouldn't be chasing PRs, right? That's just a recipe for injury. Now, this is kind of in that same category. But instead of going for a pump, I start thinking, how do I increase my time under tension? Okay, so what is TUT? What is time under tension? It's the total amount of time a muscle is under load during a set. And this isn't a new concept, guys. This is like rooted in basic exercise physiology. It's also rooted in practicality as well. Guys like Dante Trudel, dog crap training, DC training, right? He hammered this into my brain years ago. The idea is super simple. Instead of just moving the weight from point A to point B, you control every single second. That means a slow concentric, a slight pause, a slow eccentric, maybe 4 to 5 seconds, something like that. And by the time you finish, let's say 10 reps, you've put your muscle under tension for close to a full minute. And anybody that's done this, that's brutal, right? That's huge. That's mechanical tension. That's metabolic stress. That is all of the signals your brain needs to preserve muscle, even when you're in a steep caloric deficit, when recovery resources are low. So why do I use this? Because when my energy is tapped, I don't have the CNS strength to load up heavy weights and grind through max sets safely. I just don't. The risk of injury for me skyrockets when I do that. And remember, I'm not training for sport performance. My main driver, if anything, right now during my phase of training, is kind of just fat loss while holding on and preserving as much muscle tissue as possible. So that's what your boy is doing. Right now, your performance might be different. You might be training for a different goal, and that's fine. But Time under tension lets me train smarter. And it's not about the ego. It's not about loading up the bar. It's about keeping my muscles stimulated with smart, controlled work. And the truth is, sometimes lighter weight with slow, deliberate movements, it can feel 10 times harder than throwing plates on the bar, right? Your body will be agonizing if you do this, right? So here's the takeaway that I think is important. When your body feels fried, but you still want to show up, shift the lever. Use time under tension. Don't chase records or PRs or numbers. Chase quality. Focus on maybe how long your muscles are under stress, and you'll walk out of the gym feeling accomplished, not broken. So lastly, for everyone, just a couple different things. If you have yet to do this, this is where you can find me. I'm on Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, YouTube. Clearly, you're watching it here on YouTube, but I'm everywhere, right? So head over to any one of our socials and give me a follow. That would, again, I drop some behind the scenes access of what we're building, what I'm doing, my life as a strength coach. I think it's pretty rad, and I think you'll actually really like it. So that's what I wanted to give you today. 5 things for this accountability call: reclaiming your mornings, right? By shifting your bedtime, relying on systems instead of motivation, batching your hydration so you never fall behind, tracking your sleep so you can maybe see what's actually really happening when you close your eyes. And lastly, increasing the time under tension when your body needs a reset. Now, none of it is flashy. None of this is overly complicated, but all of this is practical. It's real, and it's something that you can apply today. And here's the bigger point. Being a former athlete, it doesn't mean that your best days are behind you. Your most disciplined days are behind you. It just means that you've already proven that you can do hard things. You've already shown that you can commit. And this season of your life isn't about chasing the exact same version of yourself from college. It's about building new systems, new habits, and new behaviors that serve the person that you are today. And if you do that and you do it consistently enough, you'll be shocked at how much of that old college edge comes back. Maybe not in the same form, but at least in a way that fits who you are now. And that's so powerful. So I thank you for joining us on this Former Athlete Society accountability call. As always, you can find all of my information, adamringler.com. Head over there, sign up for a free membership, the premium membership, or as this says, the Former Athlete Society. I appreciate you. Take care. I will see every single one of you on our Q&A call, question and answers. You bring the questions, I will bring the answers, and we'll get into it. Appreciate you guys.